Welcome to A Reason to Talk with Chris Reason. Today we are back with another episode where we discuss serial killers. I know it's been a hot fucking minute since I've been on here, so let's get into this. We are talking about three of some of the most recent serial killers here. Heather, I'm going to butcher these names. Heather Pressdee, Mohammed Syed, and Sean Lannon. Let's get into today's episode.
Reason to Talk with Chris Reason, yeah.
I want to thank Jason Page for recording part of that from one of the interview that we did together. Heather Renee Pressdee, born August 28th, 1982, is an American nurse and convicted serial killer. She is serving life imprisonment, having been convicted of murdering 3 patients by lethal injection, and is connected to the deaths of 17 in total, which took place in western Pennsylvania. The daughter of Michael and Bonita Pressdee, Pressdee was born on August 28, 1982. She is the oldest of 2 children. From 2003 to 2004, she attended the community college of Allegheny County, close enough. Although she did not graduate, she went on to become a registered veterinary technician before returning to get her nursing degree. Pressdee has intentionally administered lethal doses of an insulin to nursing patients throughout 5 nursing homes in Pennsylvania. The first 2 victims she was charged with murdering were 55-year-old James Bartow and 83-year-old Joseph Campbell, both of whom had died on December 4th and 25th, 2022, respectively. Her third victim was 43-year-old Nicholas Symbol, who died on May 1st, 2023. Pressdee claimed she believed she was ending the suffering of a lot of people by doing what she did. Pressdee was arrested in May 2023. She had been charged in relation to 3 murders and 19 attempts to commit murder. In total, she is connected to the deaths of 17 patients. In order to avoid the death penalty, Pressdee pleaded guilty on all counts. The murders how does that work? In order to avoid the death penalty, she pleaded guilty? Wouldn't that, imply that you're getting the death penalty if you're guilty? I don't know how the fuck that works. The murders in which she ultimately pleaded guilty were of James Bartow, Gerald Strom, and Nicholas Symbol. May 2nd, 2024, she was sentenced to 3 consecutive terms of life imprisonment, as well as 380 to 760 additional years. She is currently incarcerated at SCI Muncie. Sean M. Lannon, born March 3rd, 1974, and is an American serial killer who has killed at least 5 people in New Mexico and New Jersey, including his ex-wife, but has claimed to have killed 16. March 5th, 2021, the bodies of 4 people were found in a vehicle at the Albuquerque International Sunport parking garage. They were identified as Jennifer Lannon, 39, who was Lannon's ex-wife, Matthew Miller, 21, Justin Mata, 40, and Randall Apostolin, who was 60, 3 of whom were reported missing in January. 3 days later, 66-year-old Michael Dubowski was found bludgeoned to death at his home in East Greenwich Township, New Jersey. Lannon was arrested 2 days later in Missouri after he was caught driving Dubowski's car, which he had stolen. Following his arrest, he has brought back to New Jersey, where he claimed to have killed 16 people, 15 of whom were in New Mexico. Lannon also claimed to have been sexually abused as a minor by Dubowski. Okay. Lannon was first put on trial for Dubowski's murder in New Jersey. In October 2022, Lannon pleaded guilty to the murder and was sentenced to 35 years in prison. 2 months later, following that, he was brought back to New Mexico to face trial for the other murders. Investigators believe he killed and dismembered Jennifer Lannon, Mata, and Miller. Then he had Apostolin load the remains into a pickup truck before being killed himself. In May of 2024, Lannon pleaded guilty to the remaining murders and was given 4 consecutive 15-year sentences for each victim. As part of the plea agreement, Lannon will serve his 35-year sentence in New Jersey and then be returned to New Mexico to serve the 60-year combined total sentence. Hopefully nothing happens in between. The following is the chronological Lannon's crimes. Jennifer Lannon, January 2021 in Grants, New Mexico. Justin Mata, January, Grants, New Mexico. Matthew Miller, January, Grants, New Mexico. Randall Apostolin, February 2021, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Michael Dubowski of March 8th, 2021 in East Greenwich Township, New Jersey. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, 4 Muslim men were killed between November 2021 and August 2022 in a series of ambush shootings. Albuquerque police initially investigated the killings as a possible hate crime. Mohammed Atif Syed, a 51-year-old Afghan-American man who was arrested as a suspect on August 9, 2022. Authorities were seeking to detain his son on August 14th, 2022. Syed was convicted in one of the murders in March 2024 and pleaded no contest in the other two in September 2024. His son has not been charged in any of the murders. The first victim, Muhammad Ahmadi, an Afghan American, was killed on November 7, 2021 outside of a business where he ran with his brother. July 26, 2022, Aftab Hussein, a Pakistani American of the Hazara ethnicity, was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds next to his car after an assailant shot him through a bush. On August 1st, police responded to a drive-by shooting which killed Muhammad Asal Hussain, a Pakistani American who, among other jobs, also worked on the campaign team for U.S. Representative Melanie Stansbury of New Mexico. The last victim, Naheem Hussain, who was also Pakistani American, was found dead on August 5th by Albuquerque police officers responding to reports of a shooting. This led to the police to connect the three previous killings. A 9mm Springfield Armory XDM semi-automatic pistol purchased by Syed on January 28, 2021 was determined to be the murder weapon. On August 9, 2022, the Albuquerque Police Department announced that a primary suspect had been detained later that day, announcing the arrest of a 51-year-old Afghan-American man named Muhammad Atif Syed, a well-known member of the local Muslim community. He was formally charged with the killings of Aftab Hussain and Muhammad Asal Hussain on August 10th, and it was charged with the killing of Naheem Hussain on August 19th and will be investigated for possible involvement in the killings of Muhammad Ahmadi. The police said in a statement that there was evidence that Syed knew the victims to some extent and that the killings may have been motivated by interpersonal conflict as well as sectarian hate. Syed denied involvement in the killings. Syed was working as a cook when he and his family fled Afghanistan in 2012 for Pakistan, where they lived until being admitted to the U.S. as refugees in 2016. Although Syed claimed to have fought Taliban as part of an elite Afghan National Army unit, his government profile listed no military experience, and an expert described his claim as fishy. Beginning the year after he immigrated to the U.S., Syed was arrested for domestic violence 3 times, and one of his sons claimed Syed beat him and his mother repeatedly. All 3 cases were dismissed, the first 2 when Syed's alleged victims refused to press charges, and the third after he completed a pretrial intervention program. Syed was also arrested for failing to pull over for police. That charge, too, was dismissed. In March 2024, Syed was convicted of the first-degree murder of Aftab Hussain. In New Mexico, conviction of first-degree murder carries minimum sentence of 30 years to life, but as of January 2025, the sentencing date has not been set. September 3rd, 2024, Syed pleaded no contest to charges of second-degree murder for killing Muhammad and Naheem Hussain. Under the terms of his plea bargain, he will serve 30 years in prison for both charges, concurrent with any sentence that he received for first-degree murder conviction. On November 8th, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Syed's son, on August 14th, 2022, the U.S. Attorney for New Mexico stated that they were seeking to detain Muhammad Syed's son, Shaheen Maiwand Syed, in connection with up to 2 of the killings based on the cell tower data, phone records, and the recovery of a pistol in the son's room, though the son's attorney called the allegations exceedingly thin and speculative. Shaheen Syed was arrested on August 9th on an unrelated federal charge of using an incorrect address while purchasing a firearm in 2021. He was eventually not charged with any murder and was held until being released to halfway house on October 7th, 2022. Syed pleaded guilty on January 9th, 2023 and served 70 days in prison. He is currently at a 3-year supervised release. The belief that Islamophobia was behind the killings prompted Albuquerque's Muslim community to temporarily shutter businesses and Muslim residents to either stay in their homes or move out of state. Reuters reported that the killings led to days of bolstering security around Albuquerque area mosques, seeking to allay fears of a shooter driven by anti-Muslim hate. The Albuquerque Muslim community reacted with sadness following the arrest of Syed, who is a Muslim himself. Some residents expressed concern that Syed's arrest would fuel perceptions of Muslims as violent or extreme. On August 10th, the Islamic Center of Albuquerque held a community prayer for the men killed, while Sunni and Shia leaders came together in Washington, D.C. to send messages of solidarity. In an interview with Insider, a brother of one of the victims said he did not believe that the killings were religiously motivated. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Reason to Talk with Chris Reason. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell on YouTube and follow everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you're on YouTube, comment what you guys think about what could possibly going on, especially with the last one. And make sure you stay tuned for more. Peace and bacon grease, guys.